Hello, everybody. This is Bobby Mitchell. I am the host of Breakthrough to Break Free. We are back at it in another episode, and we thank you for being here today. Very excited about our topic today. But before we get to that, a couple housekeeping things. We want to make sure that you get connected to us. Down below this video, you're going to see some links, links of some of the speakers, links from our private Facebook group. So please link up, follow us, so we can stay in touch with you and we can give you not only these incredible episodes, but we've got a lot of neat free information to help you with anything that you need to do to break through, break free, and make 2021 your best one. That is what we believe. We believe that with Conscious Community Media, we believe that you were created on purpose for a purpose. And so what we've been doing consciously in all of our each independent ways of the people that you're going to hear from today in our own little world, what we've done is we are basically transforming leaders to transform the world, right? That's our mission. And what we've done is collectively come together today for a short time area. So we thank you for however you found us, for watching this and spending a few minutes with us. And we truly believe it'll be helpful for you. If not, it can be helpful for someone you may know that you could share it with them. And we really encourage that. So with that, what I get to do real quickly, just a little bit about me. I'm the co-host and I am co-founder of Conscious Community Media. And obviously I shared with you a little bit of my passion and you can hopefully hear it, right? That I truly believe that everybody's created for a purpose, with a purpose, right? And our topic today is your why, right? WHY, your why. And I remember I have 4 children, 2 are in college and then 2 are still living at home. They're 13 and 15. And so, 13, 15, it wasn't that long ago when they were toddlers running around. And we probably all do it. And if you know kids, what happens when they get to a certain age and you say, hey, you can't touch that, or don't do this, or, hey, do this. And they always say, why? Why? Why do I have to do that? Right? Why? Well, that's a powerful word. Why? We always want to know how. There's another word called when. You know what I mean? Where? But why? WHY. What I learned early in my career of being a public speaker, a trainer, a recruiter, and a successful business owner from my mentors was the power of the why. Why are you doing what you do? And we all have a why. And I had a why when I was educated this, and I realized my why, my purpose, my reason, my mission wasn't that strong. And what I always do is I would start something and I'd quit. I'd start something when I quit. And I'd start something and I quit, right? And then there's some things that I started and I finished. And when I met my mentor who first shared me this concept of the why, I started putting the pieces together and realized, wow, every time I followed through with something and achieved any amount of success, I had a strong why, strong purpose, a reason for being, a reason for doing, a reason for working hard, a reason for giving my all, reason for not giving up, right? And think about this. How many times have we given up on things? How many times? I can't even count how many times I've given up on things. And I'm excited because I get to introduce to you not only someone that has impacted me directly as a friend, as a mentor, as a confidant, as a business partner, but someone that I met years ago when I was just really evolving into becoming a leader. And being able to have conversations with him on a regular basis helped me not only reignite my why, but really helped me get my why centered and focused where it never got off track. I never got it off track. And that helped me achieve a lot of massive success in that time period. And obviously I've carried it on. So what I get to do is introduce our first guest today, and he's going to share with you some power information. And I know him, but I want to share with you a couple things because he's an author, he's a teacher. I've shared with you he's a mentor. But one of the neat things is he's a John Maxwell speaker trainer, certified, right? And if you know John Maxwell, if you don't know John Maxwell, write down John Maxwell, and Google that. And the fact, once you Google that, you can say, wait a minute, Brian's a certified trainer with them? Absolutely. So I'm excited. And the best part of Brian is he's got a beautiful wife named Deb, who I get to say is sort of my soul sister, sister that I never had through Brian. So I get to introduce Mr. Brian Bodenhamer out in Indianapolis, Indiana, but he's, in the Midwest and given that Midwest value, but he's worldwide. So Brian, please share with us your wisdom and things that you've learned and how you can help us get focused in what does it mean to have a powerful why.
Thank you, Bobby, so much. I really enjoy these last few years that we've had a chance to work together, become a friend. You've been a mentor to me as well. And I rarely find a time where I haven't had a chance to learn something from you when we talk. And just on another note, his wife, Sam, is the much better half of Bobby. So, and he'll admit that. So guys, with that, for those of you who don't know me, my name is Brian Bodenhamer. I'm from Indianapolis, Indiana, lived here all my life. We have this little race that goes on every year that ends up being the second largest city in our state while that's going on. And people always wonder, Brian, whata? And I'm like, it's Bodenhamer. It's spelled bow, like a box that's on top of a box. Den, like maybe what you're sitting in right now. Hay, what you feed horses. And myrrh, like the spice. So Bodenhamer, long A. And lived here, like I said, all my life. Been married to my wife, Deb, 18 years, going this year. And she's been such a blessing. And she is a big part of my why. And so let's get down to it. When we talk about why, we're talking about something that's very personal. We want you to define that. And it may take a while. And I've had clients where I ask them what their why is, and they give me this answer. And I'm like, yeah, that's a good start. Let's keep going. They go, what do you mean it's a good start? And I go, let's get down to it. And they keep going. And I had a client that some of you may know. I asked her 8 different times. She got down to 8 answers and she still wasn't there. She goes, why are you asking me this question? I said, you haven't gotten there. Because at some point it has to become personal. At some point it has to become somewhat selfish, and that's okay. And we'll talk more about that. But the second part of it is we have to define if that why is really yours. Is that why yours? Is it something that somebody gave you and said this is what you should be doing, and they mistake that as their why. Well, a why is different for everybody. No one can tell you. I can't tell you. Bobby can't tell you. Sean can't tell you. Huber, James, Ryan. Nobody can tell you what your why is. And if you're watching this, watching the recording of this, look at the person sitting next to you, if maybe you're sitting, and say, what is your why? And start thinking about that. Because I will tell you, it's not only yours individually, but you have to understand it's not just motivation. Motivation and whys are different. Motivation can change. Now, not that you're saying your why is not going to change, but motivation is, I'm really hungry, so I got to get something to eat. That's a motivation. Your why is something deep inside you that evolves as you evolve. Because I will guarantee you, my why from 18 years ago is different from what it is now. My why from when I met Bobby over 10 years ago is different from what it is now. And it'll evolve. It'll become more distinct as you grow and as you get older. The next thing I'd like to mention is, are you committed to your why? Now, this is a part of a 10-part series. We did limiting beliefs last week, and I had a little small part of that. And we talked about commitment. And there's 5 levels of commitment, guys. And the first one is I don't care. We all know everybody cares. And then the most powerful one is I'm committed no matter what. These are people that are run through walls. They're going to climb over walls. They're going to go around walls. They're going to do whatever it takes to get through that wall, to get to what their ultimate goal is, to what their why is. And that's what it takes. So is it yours? It's more motivation? Are you committed to it? And if you know your why, the next question you have to ask is, does it make you cry? Is it something that's so emotional to you? It doesn't have to make you cry. It could just make you giddy, but it draws emotion out. So I think that if your why isn't so important that it just brings some sort of emotion out, you need to keep digging. So, this is not something to do over a 2-hour period or a 10-minute period. It's something it's going to evolve, and you're going to have to get deep. with yourself and ask for help sometimes. So once you know your why, um, you any great company you can think of, they know what their why is before they know the how to do it and what to do, right? Every successful company works from their why through their how and to their what. A lot of companies that are going out of business and companies that really don't have a clue about what their why is, they're going out of business, because they're starting from the wrong place. Think of the most famous example I could think of as Chick-fil-A. They know their why. And you could tell because other businesses are complaining about how long their lines are. I saw an article about that yesterday. The more famous example is Apple. Now, I will tell you, this book is a big part of why I'm having this subject. It's written by a guy named Simon Sinek. He uses Apple as his example. You can go on YouTube. Don't do it right now. Do it after we get done here. But go on to YouTube, look up Simon Sinek, Sinek. If someone could put that in the chat, Sinek. Look on YouTube and look for Start with Why. It takes about 18 minutes, and you'll see something really special and what we're doing there. Okay, so once we know what your why and we know how and what we're going to do, you need to find out if your why is somewhat selfish, and it should be. It's great that you want to help people out, but at some point it has to be something that's self-gratifying to you. It has to be something that is personal to you, that gets you emotional, gets you worked up. For me, I can't say a why without including my wife. And I'm sure some of you can feel that way. For Ryan, I know his parents are a big part of his why. Bobby, his family, especially his young boy Max, who he's coaching basketball. Huge part of his why. It's something that he can share that they both love. So it should be somewhat selfish. And then, I'm a former history teacher. I love teaching history. I'd probably still be doing that if it weren't for all the politics in teaching. Um, I'm glad I'm where I'm at. But when we talk about history, we talk about this thing called the invisible hand, right? And if we talk about passion, we talk about purpose, right? And what happened in the United States when we first got started, um, we were wondering how we were gonna do our infrastructure with a lot of things, whether it was paper, whether it was ink, whatever it was. We didn't know how we were going to do that, and somebody very very smart said, let's find people's passions and purpose and use their talents and their gifts and let them do that, and let's see what happens. And that's exactly how this country in a lot of ways came to be what it was. It's because people were following that invisible hand and helping them discover their whys and their purpose and passions, and a lot of really good stuff came out of that, and that's part of why we are who we are. And it does involve your passion and your purpose, and your why and your passion and purpose are interlinked. You can't figure out your why without discovering that. The other part of it too is you're also going to find out your talents and your gifts. I've talked about praying and we talk about God-given gifts and grace. Well, I'm not going to get into that right now, but it also defines your gifts and your talents, and you find that with your purpose and passion. And if you combine those four things, you're going to find a why. You're going to find your why, and you're going to make the world a better place. You're going to be living your highest self, and it's going to be amazing what happens when you do that. The last thing I would say is your why has to be congruent with your core values. I was talking to a group of men today um, about core values, and this was a Bible study, but we figured out that the core values has to be at the crux of everything, and that also involves your why, guys. So when we talk about why, when we talk about your purpose and your passions and all the things that make life worth living, if you figure out, or when you figure out, I'd like to say, what your why is, everything else becomes simple. Your how and your what become simple. You know, you can have the seven of us on this call right now, we can all have the same goals and we could all be doing the same thing, but I will guarantee each of our whys are going to be different. So with that, I appreciate your time and taking the time to listen in. And what I'd like to do right now is, um, a gentleman that I've known for about a year now, has become a dear friend of mine. He is promoting a new product of his called Ryan's Daily Nuggets, and he has come so far along in his journey. It's exciting. I wish I had time to edify him even more, but Ryan, I'd like to introduce you and let you take it away.
Hey, thank you, Brian. It's a wonderful introduction that you had shared with me today. I'm very appreciative to have gotten to know you in this last 8, 9 months to a year, and I'm very happy to share with you here today. So my name is Ryan Collar. Good afternoon, conscious community and media, ladies and gentlemen. For those that are new to our channel, welcome. And for those that are returning, we are all happy to see you here again here today. I host a show in this segment called the Daily Nugget Show. And the purpose of me hosting the Daily Nugget Show is to bring value, share words of inspiration, and share a nugget, a daily nugget, to all of you in the audience. For today's new Daily Nugget, I have chosen to share a quote from national best-selling author Tony Robbins from his book, Unlimited Power. The quote states, "People are not lazy, they simply have impotent goals. That is, the goals that they have do not inspire them." This quote, as well as the book Unlimited Power, has resonated with me during my reading because it has shown me the importance of goal setting, writing each goal down, and achieving our goal through hard work. Whether the size, the time, or the distance of each goal must inspire us for us to accomplish our dreams. Like my Daily Nugget show? Tell me what you think in the comment section below. Follow me on Instagram and Ryan Poppin' Collar, and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Stay safe. Earn this day. I'm Ryan Collar once again. Thank you very much to share with you today. And I will be with you all tomorrow with another new Daily Nugget. Thank you, and back to you, Bobby.
Hey, thanks, Ryan. Hey, thank you for sharing that. 1 second here. So thank you so much for Brian. First off, there was so much there. And then Ryan, you shared the nuggets of, again, just amazing, good stuff going on here. And before I get into kind of wrapping things up, and I'm going to share with you something that transformed my life and helped me, really, I think we all have something called defining moments, things that happen in life that alter our life, that change the direction, the course of our lives, right? And then when you're in the midst of that moment, when you're in the midst of the change or a crisis or high point or low point, we're in the midst of it. We're just in the midst of it. And sometimes we don't really realize how much of a defining time that was or a moment that was until we look in a rearview mirror. So I'm going to just definitely share that. But before I do that, I want to invite Huber Sanchez to share, because Huber is someone that I met. He's got a tremendous years of success in the hospitality industry. He's now in the insurance industry, but the common thing that that the theme that everybody that you're hearing from is that we all have a heart to serve people. And what I love about Huber is that he's got this passion to want to not only help people, but help his family. I know his family is a big reason of his why, but he's out there providing extraordinary customer service every single day to people that he comes across in his business activities. So Huber, I know, thank you for being here, but I think it'd be great if you could share with everybody on our show and watching both live and on the recording, what does why mean to you and what is your why? And maybe that, if you don't mind sharing with us, we greatly appreciate it. Thanks, Huber.
Thank you, Bobby, for that introduction. It's great. You've been a wonderful person to me, and you are becoming my mentor. You are, all of you. First, let me tell you, before, when you asked me that why, what was my why before, I would have told you, it's like, I just want to make sure the other people are wrong. And that was not my why. That was just out of anger, just to make sure. when people tell me I can do anything, I'm going to prove them wrong. But after a while thinking about my why, I realized my real why is my family, especially my mother, because ever since I know she's been working so hard for us, it's, let me tell you a little bit about her. She's been working 3 jobs when I was a kid, just to make sure we were never hungry and we always had what we wanted. She decided that working 3 jobs wasn't good enough, so she decided to come to the United States for a better life. So she came here in '84, worked real hard, and 2 years later, my sisters and I came here for a better life. I thought it was going to be a little different, but it turns out that she was still working 2 jobs, 7 days a week, just to make sure we had everything we wanted, either food or any toys we wanted as a child. So I always thank my mom for that. But she always wanted to have her American dream, the same American dream everybody has, same I have. And I realized that my dream is also her dream. Her dream was to become a homeowner. And in 1994, she became an owner of her house. 3 years later, she realized another of her dreams, start her own business. It's been 23 years since she has her own business, been working hard on it, persistently, every week she works there. That is part of my why. The other part is making sure she's happy. She'd be able to retire when she decides to. I want to be able to help pay her mortgage, so she can retire comfortably, so she doesn't have to worry about working again, unless she wants to. She wants to work. I'm all about that. Everybody needs to have goals, like Brian and Ryan asked. We all have goals. My goal is to make sure she gets what she wants. My why, it is my mom, to make sure she's always happy, because she has given me so much throughout my life, more than I deserve. And all I want to do is make sure she's proud of me and proud of who she has raised as a man. That is my why. And with that, thank you for listening to me. And, like I said, we are here I'm here in Escondido. It's really nice. And as you can see, Ryan has a beautiful shot of the weather here. I'm sorry, Brian, I don't know how the weather's over there, but I'm not going to, say anything else about that. But thank you, everybody. I'm back to you, Bobby.
Hey, thank you so much, Huber. And there's a couple things that sparked when you shared, and I was just double checking. I was watching, and Brian mentioned earlier about my 13-year-old, that he's a little point guard and he plays competitive basketball, and I've coached him since he was 5 years old. And and who knows how it'll all turn out, but we have a lot of fun together because I played basketball up until junior college and love sports. And but we watched the show, and some of you might, we've all heard of this guy named LeBron James, right? We've all heard of this guy named LeBron James, right? I guess he's a pretty decent basketball player, right? I guess he, right?
I guess so.
And what happened was, oh, hold on, we got a little background noise. So I think, okay, there we go. Got a little echo. So there was if you haven't seen it, there is a show on, I think it was on Netflix or someplace I saw it on this weekend, More Than the Game, right? It's called More Than the Game. And it's basically a documentary about LeBron James when he was in high school and before he became a pro. And I think if you know, we all kind of know LeBron James now, and he's really become, one of the best ever to play the game of basketball. But when we talk about whys, and what sparked it was Hubert talked about his mom. And most people don't know. I mean, if you don't know, I didn't know exactly the details. I had heard a little bit of LeBron James, but his mom had LeBron at a pretty young age, single mom, didn't know his father. But what it was even more so is that LeBron literally in 5 or 6 years, like moved 5, 6 different times. Like it was like so unstable as far as moving around. But they had the two of them, and if you've ever heard him interviewed, what drove him and what moved him to become, to work as hard as he's done, to be the best as what he does, was his why, was his mom, is still his mom, right? And now he's married, he's got kids, and he's got a high school son that's that's dominating basketball on the high school level, but what drove them initially. So what you got today from Huber, Ryan, and Brian is just a snippet, just a small little spotlight on the power of the why, right? And I want to end it on a story, a personal story for me of my why. When I was like everybody else. I think most of us have heard you got to get a good education, get good grades. I had two parents, that mom and dad, David and Yoko. Um, they adopted me out of an orphanage in South Korea. And when I was 1 year old, they got me out of this orphanage and took me to Japan. It was my mom's Japanese, and my dad was in Air Force, and we grew up. And I remember when they sat me down when I was 5 years old and told me that I was adopted. It was, to me, it was a great day. It wasn't anything negative. I felt special. I felt chosen, and they always made me feel that way. And so obviously I had a lot of love for David and Yoko. And if you fast forward, they instilled a lot of great values in me and work hard. I think we've all heard that. Get good grades. I did that. Get a good education, get a good job. And I did all those things because I loved my mom and dad, and I was an only child, and I wanted to make them proud. So they were my why, right? They were my purpose. I wanted them to be proud. And I remember when I graduated college, out of the University of San Francisco State, and walked across the field, and I shouldn't have probably graduated because it took a few more years than 4 years to graduate, but I never gave up, right? I never gave up because I did it for them. That was my why I didn't quit college, even though most people that go to college quit college, right? And I should have, because it took me more than 4 years to graduate. I'm not going to tell you how long, but almost double the years. But I remember handing my degree to them, and I thanked them. By that time, I was already an entrepreneur. I was already starting my own business. And by then, my why has been, I wanted them to be proud, and I graduated, but I wanted to be proud where, just like Huber, I wanted to be able to take care of them, right? I wanted to be able to be that son that could look out for them, right? And that's because they were the two most important people in my life. And I was able to achieve a tremendous amount of success in a short period of time in sales, business development, a direct sales company. And the whole reason of my story was I achieved that success, was able to buy my dad a brand new car, and help my parents pay off their home, and all those cool stuff that we did back then. This is years ago, right? But I remember in 2005, where I was sitting next to my father, and he was in a hospital bed. My mother was not there. She was in Japan visiting her family, and it was just me and my dad. And at that time in 2005, which is, it was 2005, what happened, I had made all that income and took on another project and lost everything I had. So I was, boom, and crash. And anybody can relate of basically crashing and burning. The reason why I was next to that hospital bed is because I was bankrupt, and I was sitting next to my dad because I was living back at home after living on the, having a condo on the beach and all that cool stuff that, it was just crazy, right? But I was next to my dad on a hospital bed. And at that time, we didn't know what was going on, but he had a stroke, and he was sort of coherent. And I remember that day because that was the day where I realized I was doing everything for the wrong reasons. Yeah, my parents were important, but Brian hit on something, that your why should someone be selfish. And what I mean by selfish is that you were created by the Creator, by God. And I came to the revelation that I was created for a purpose. And when I was sitting there next to my dad, not knowing if he was going to make it or not make it, I felt something uniquely different, and realized, because I was almost thinking that I was a complete failure. because I failed. Any of you have ever feel like you're a failure because maybe a divorce or a business or getting laid off or getting fired or a business deal goes bad and you just feel like a loser? And I felt like a loser. And I'm here sitting next to my dad. I don't know if he's going to make it. That was the lowest point in my life because I was low. And then and the person who was one of the most important people in my life, I didn't know if he was going to make it. And something happened, and call it the Holy Spirit, call it a revelation from God. But I had a wake-up call. I realized that, you know what? It's not about the cars. It's not about the money. It's not even about other people. At some point in time, I was going to have to answer for this gift of life that I was blessed with. And it wasn't over, and I couldn't give up. There was a reason that I was alive. And even if my dad, because I had to accept if my dad didn't make it, what would I do? What would I do? And I said, you know what? I gotta keep going. And to say that from that point to now, what's happened in my life, it's not about the multi-million-dollar home that I get to live in a beachfront community. It's not about that. It's not about my incredible kids, my beautiful wife. It's about I have a purpose, just like you have a purpose. And if you know what that purpose is, we're here to help you. Brian, Alex, Ryan, Huber, Sean, Matthew, James, Melanie, our conscious community, our family, we're here to help you achieve what your calling is. If you know what it is, we're here to help you. If you don't know what it is, you stay in touch with us, you connect with us, and we will help you discover it and help you live the life that you're meant to live. That is why you are blessed with the gift of life. Life is a gift, and what you do with it is a gift back to God. I truly believe that. And we thank you for being here today, for spending a few minutes with us. And it's not going to answer everything in your life, but if you stay connected with us, I promise you, you will be part of a community, a part of a family that will empower you, that will encourage you, and will give you not only hope, direction, guidance, support, but we will become your number one fan and help you achieve everything that you're meant to achieve in this life. So with that, guys, thank you, Brian. Thank you, Huber. Thank you, Ryan. And thank you for all of you that made it here live. And for those of you that are listening, please connect with us down below. Connect with us, link up with us, get to our private Facebook group, click on our website, and make sure that you get subscribed to our email list so you can know all the upcoming shows that are coming up with not only the Breakthrough to Break Free, but Brian's got some incredible stuff. He's got a book launch coming out. We got Ryan's Daily Nugget Show. So stay connected with the Conscious Community family. And with that, God bless, and we'll see you very soon. Take care, guys. Bye-bye.